All right, y'all. Greetings, greetings. Greetings, y'all. It's early. Well, it's not that early, but sorry. I'm trying to adjust this camera. All right. So I didn't really fix myself up. I was going to take a shower. It's 9:26 a.m. It's not that early because I should have been out the house by now. But I think I'm going to come out here and try to cut this grass and get it out the way, y'all. So, with that being said, you see what I'm looking like. I didn't fix myself up. I'm going to put these shades on and we're going to get going out here. So, I got my fanny pack and let this umbrella up right here so we're in the shade. And I got my GoPro camera ready to go. I don't think it's fully charged though, so I'm gonna let y'all see what this grass is looking like. Are y'all ready? All right, I'm trying to see how I'm gonna do this, so just a minute. All right, let me get behind the lens of the camera so that you all can see. All right, so if I just scroll around a bit, and I might have to take this camera off the tripod. Here we go, y'all. Take this camera off the tripod so you can see what this yard is looking like. And I'm going to zoom in for y'all. So this is what the yard is looking like. I'm going to come back here and cut it, y'all. This is my little section that I was working on. I put some turf builder down, grass seeds. I don't see anything growing yet. I don't see any grass growing yet, but we're not going to give up. We may have to water it, but I'm not going to water it right now because I'm going to be cutting the grass, and I might just trim around it. I might not even cut that part. So anyway, y'all, this is what we got going on. This is my little setup here. I might actually light my tiki torch. We'll see. It's probably not a bad idea. I just like the ambiance of what that looks like. So I'm gonna go in the house and get the lighter and light the tiki torch. Y'all, I really need to be out doing other stuff, making money today. But we'll get there. It's probably going to be extremely hot again. It's been in the 90s all week. Basically, we've had 100-degree temperatures all week. So y'all, please forgive me for not doing anything with my hair, because my intentions was to take a shower and get ready, but I decided to come out here and mess with this yard. So let's go ahead and get it out the way. Let me see what the temperature is like, because I'm already sweating. So the quicker I can get this done, the quicker I can be over and done with it. I don't know if I'm going to do the front yard. I might just do the back. And because, you know, it's the holiday weekend, I doubt that a lot of yard people are working today that I could call over here. 80 degrees right now, and the high is going to be 90. For me, that's not too bad because it's been 100 degrees out here all week. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? All right, I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, y'all, got the tiki torch lit. I might go get the other tiki torch just because I love the way it looks when it's lit up, even though I don't really need it on right now. Usually that's for more like a late evening type situation. But also, I'm going to probably put some more tiki torch liquid in there because it wasn't that much in there. So it might eventually go out on its own. We have Tinkerbell at the balcony door. I can show you her. She wants to come out here. But anyway, let me go and get the lawnmower and I'll be back with y'all. All right, y'all. So far, I've cut this entire backyard. I just have a few pieces that needs to be edged up, and I'm going to edge it, and then I'm going to also spray some water in the yard, like on the dry clay dirt, because I really want to tend to this yard back here. Like I told you, I'm trying to get this grass to grow. I got to nurture the yard. Right now it's around 10:08, 10:09. I just checked like 2 minutes ago. So it's still kind of early, but it is getting later. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get this knocked out as quickly as possible, y'all. My tiki torch is still lit back there, by the way. And I do plan on fixing myself up when this is all over, because I want to post a video for y'all. We're going to be talking about spiritual attacks, these fake spiritual gurus out here, these fake YouTubers, these fake success stories. And while I was cutting the grass, these things just started coming to mind. So there's nothing wrong with working in the yard, because I feel like it's therapeutic, and you start to get more of a clear mind when you get with nature. And my goal is to be able to ground back here. So we're going to get rid of these fire ants, these insects. We're going to be able to actually take our feet and plant it on the ground. That is my ultimate goal, but right now I'm not there yet. I do have some old blankets that I can use. I'm thinking about getting an outdoor rug, but I really want to get a patio paver put out here. That's my goal, and a garden started, and I already know that it's going to be in this back corner over here. Let me show you. Right over there. That's where the garden is going, y'all. I don't have a storage shed out here just yet, and I'm still contemplating if I still want that. And if I do get a storage shed, it might go in that corner over there, but we have some work to do, because as you can see, let's walk you over there just so you can see what's going on, y'all. All right, let's get this off the tripod again. All right, so my apologies for the shakiness. So what we did last week is my friend came over, associate came over, and he trimmed a lot of this down for me with the weed eater and the hedge trimmer. He did it manually. I don't have an electric hedge trimmer just yet. I would have videoed or taken some footage for y'all, but I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable being on camera. He was sweating. So what I'm gonna do is keep filling this in, because eventually it's going to, be okay. This is how I feel. Keep filling it in. And as you can see, it does not look too good, y'all. Let me zoom in. No, this does not look good at all. And I just want you to see, what this looks like. Shame on the builder, because this did come from them. But with that being said, we're going to take care of it, and we're going to get this taken care of. So, people have told me, oh, your fence is going to fall down. It's going to take your fence out. But guess what? I don't speak negative on my situations. And I want to talk to y'all about something else. We're going to touch on this on another video, y'all, probably when I fix myself up a little bit more. But I met someone yesterday that had a wrist injury just like mine's, and the doctors pushed her for surgery. The doctors pushed me for surgery too. But when I looked at both of our wrists, she has a very noticeable scar on her wrist, and her wrist fracture was back in 2024. I think it was February of 2024, about a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. I have no scar, and my wrist is healing. The only thing that goes on with me is that it's stiff, and I'm working on it, and I've got my paraffin wax. I've done my research, and I've already declared healing over my body, y'all. So I just wanted to touch bases with y'all, but let me get back to this yard, because I really don't have time to be talking out here right now. All right, we're gonna hook this water hose up and have some water out here, okay? We can't go wrong with water. gonna go ahead and cut it right here. I'll show y'all more later, okay? Whew, y'all, it's hot. And plus, I don't want this camera to overheat. I'm gonna put it in the shade.